I just set up. It's called a balance. I don't believe they sell this model anymore. It was disassembled and reassembled. So just so you know, that is doable. And I'm going to show you the finished greenhouse first, because I'm then going to go back and explain why the measurements for the frame are what they are and how it ended up this way. In the instructions, there's usually a page that shows the dimensions of your greenhouse. In my case, this is outside edge. The width is 8 feet, which is 96 inches. The length, 7 feet 11 inches, which is 95 inches. We're going to build the frame around this 8-foot width. And they do recommend that you keep a 2-inch gap between the product base and the edge of your foundation. This is how you calculate the length of the inside corners of your frame. If your width is total length 8 feet to the outside of your greenhouse dimension, and the material that you're fastening down is 1 inch wide, you now have 96 inches. From that, you take off 2 times the 1 inch of the material. I want 3 inches of surround on the inside of my greenhouse frame. So that's 2 times 3, that's 6 inches. That brings me to an inside dimension of 88 inches. And I'll explain to you why I wanted this 88 inches in a minute. So here's where paver planning is important. I had originally wanted to use 16 of these 2 by 2 foot square pavers, so 24 inch by 24 inch pavers. Had I laid 4 of those side by side, 4 times 24 is 96 inches. That meant that the greenhouse would have sat on the outside edge of the pavers. That wasn't going to work. And by the way, I wanted the pavers inside of a frame so that they would hold firm. In then calculating what pavers I had these side pavers that I put around the perimeter. I measured those and they ended up measuring about 15.5 by 7.5. So if I then added up 24, 24, 24, 72 plus 15.5, I ended up at about 87.5. That's why I wanted the inside frame of my greenhouse to be 88 inches. So now that I have the inside dimension of my frame, how do I calculate the outside dimension? How long I need the lumber to be? I'm using 2 by 6s, which are actually 1.5 by 5.5. Mine is a little bit wider, a little bit more than 5.5, so I'm just going to add a bit more. You then take your 88 inch inside dimension, you multiply 2 times 5.5, which in my case I'm going to call 11.5 inches. You add those two together and you now have 99.5 inches. You need 4 pieces of lumber that are 99.5 inches long, and you need 4 pieces of lumber that are approximately 88 inches long if you're going to build a frame for an 8 by 8 greenhouse out of 2 by 6 lumber. This is how I put my frame together. So the red popsicle sticks represent 2 by 6 lumber that's been cut to 99.5 inches, 4 pieces. You stack them like so. Put 1 screw in each of the 4 corners and then square it off. Make sure that the diagonal measurement this way and this way is exactly the same, so then you know your frame is square. Put another screw in each corner so that it's now a stable frame and secure. Then you measure the distance between each of these. In my cases, they were approximately 88 inches, with wood being a bit warped. Sometimes it was a little bit more, a little bit less than that. You put these ones in here, fasten them down. I use these 3-inch deck screws. Anything similar is fine. Once those are secured, flip the whole frame over, and then you put your other 2 pieces on this side and on this side. Fasten it all down and your frame is done.